son of a bitch, Hunter Davenport, found a way to not watch Arrow. Son of a bitch.
Yeah. Really should be
great episode too.
Yeah.
Honestly,
we really
this
should
is
be
the
more
strongest
angry
premiere.
at Eric, yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I am more angry at Eric because Eric will find any reason for him to not watch any CW show, period.
Mm-hmm.
I know, and like, it's good now. Well,
yeah. Most of them.
Yeah.
Arrow's been good for years. He's just being a
it had 2 bad seasons. That's it.
Yes.
Yeah.
And this is the strongest premiere they've had since season 2, I'm just saying.
It's one of the strongest premieres of any of the shows ever.
Yeah.
I think I agree with that. I can't think of a memorable Flash intro.
Like the first episode of The Flash, but even that pilot is real wonky now.
Yeah, and I would say Flashpoint, but
yeah, well, because the Flash pilot is a pilot after we already got a backdoor pilot.
That's
so true. It's weird.
That's fair.
And the same with like Supergirl, kind of had similar stuff going on.
Yeah. So Arrow came back last week, the final season.
Yep.
Episode 1 started. It was called Starling City. I'm just gonna say this right now. All of the flash forwards, I could feel myself just drifting away.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Yep. I literally sat there. I'm like, I dubbed this subplot Future Gang. I also dub it Boring as Shit.
Super Gang.
We don't really need it. I get why, because it's what the show does.
Oh, it is going to be a 10-episode backdoor pilot for this show with Mia smoking the canaries.
Well, apparently Mia's in the crossover? Question mark?
Yeah. Well, my only thoughts is like this is just like character building for a character because she's going to end up in the present day.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because I don't understand. Like they cannot have a series with 3 of the main characters in very not good old lady makeup.
I will say it was whiny, but I also did appreciate when William's trying to get everyone to listen. He's like, no one listens to the tech guy. I was like,
see, I actually like adult William.
Yeah, I like adult William, and I like adult. What's his name? John or
Connor.
Tiggle's son, Connor. Yeah.
Well, it's that one's Connor. John is the bad guy.
Yeah.
Right.
John is Deathstroke Jr.
JJ.
Yeah.
JJ the killer guy.
Mm-hmm. He's good. I actually really like him. I wish him and his half brother had more screen time. Like I feel like
that really hurt. That really hurt that entire thing because I was like, I feel like I'm being dropped into something that started developing months ago.
Well, the only other thing I would like to say is like I don't even understand what happens at the end of that segment. Like how he just like what happens where like she's on her own with him and JJ just leaves. I'm like, where'd you go, Connor? Like you just disappeared.
Yeah.
Wait,
it's really weird.
The character, not you.
Yeah, I was just saying.
It's gonna get real confusing.
Thank God on the filmmakers and writers that those segments only show up few and far in between.
Right.
Yeah.
I think that they know that we're not looking for those.
Especially with the rest of the episode was so good.
I want Oliver bopping around the multiverse with the monitor.
Right. Yeah. And doing what I assume this episode is setting up, where each episode is a comment on an individual season, which feels like that's what they're setting us up for.
It's like go get the thing and revisit your past,
which is weird because we've already done Adrian Chase.
Yeah,
but it was so good.
That's true. There's a lot of stuff where like we kind of did this. Tommy being bad. But it's almost like an answer to that.
Yes,
the big thing was the more
reasons behind it. I was like, this one was like, I'm a Nazi, bleh.
Right.
Well, and it's kind of they tied in like original Speedy stuff and like with the drugs, and then Tommy got to be actually in an entire episode and not like 3 seconds. And Moira was awesome.
But what if they had just, instead of having her die of drugs, she was walking around with a dead cat? What if that's what they did?
If she had one arm and was walking around with a dead cat, I'd be like, sold, that's fine.
I don't know why. Hang on, I gotta find this. But I think of the crazy cat lady from The Simpsons now that I keep thinking about that.
She's just throwing fucking cats at Oliver.
She's just like...
My favorite Simpsons guest character.
Can we
goes up behind Lisa and starts throwing cats at her?
Can we start with the beginning part though? Because I'm like, I want to know the backstory to this. So instead of Deathstroke's mask, it's Batman's cowl.
Yeah.
Yes.
What are the implications of that?
So Earth 2 is in the traditional DC multiverse Earth 3, which is still a decision that they made that I don't agree with. But I understand.
Reversal. Yeah.
Yeah, we don't expect it to be bad we would expect it to be bad if they had said it was Earth 3. So I guess in this universe, since the good guys are bad and the bad guys are good, that Batman is just like he's Slade in this universe. I feel like that's.
Well, here's my question, because I mix up when they originally showed Killer Frost and Deathstorm. That was Earth 2, right?
That was Earth 2, yes.
Yeah, because when they showed Barry had the phone and it had Bruce, Diana, Hal, and somebody else's number on it, Clark.
Right. Yeah.
So yeah, I guess in this world it's
everything's reversed.
Slade Wilson is Batman, or are we?
Well, no, I think we're supposed to assume that whoever Batman is, regardless.
Or I guess it would be Owlman.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. I think the fact that they didn't do. Sight. Yeah. Wow. What if they had done Owlman?
It's supposed to be a dark and gritty Batman. It was Adam West the whole time.
Well, that could be.
Well, yeah. Well, I'm just saying.
It could also be. It could be Thomas Wayne. That's the other thing.
Yes. Because but that's the whole thing is because all the other characters are the evil version, but they've never brought the quintessential Earth 3 characters. The Earth 3 evil Flash is Johnny Quick, which we have not seen.
Well, they were supposed to do something with the Accelerated Man, and he never returned.
Yeah.
No, was he the one that showed up for Gypsy for a half second?
Yeah, with the fucking
rags,
the scarf around his face.
I don't think
the
that
bomber,
was anything.
The bomber goggles. The fuck.
Also, I gotta say, hearing the old theme song come back from season 1 in the intro, the title card, that was fucking cool.
Let me tell you how hard I laughed when the chase reveal happens, and then in the background,
so good.
That stupid, awful, terrible Prometheus music that I can't believe someone okayed. It's so dumb.
I kind of like that theme, though. I think it's genuinely creepy.
It's dumb, but I do love it because it's because everything else.
But then he opens his
comes
mouth
along, and it sounds like he just tipped a keyboard over and just ran his finger down the fucking keys. But
then my problem was Chase opened his mouth. And he was like, "Well, how you doing there, boy? Why do you sound like you're from Kentucky?"
He still sounds like a complete and utter psychopath.
I would say
he sounds like a complete and utter psychopath from Kentucky.
I think he had left his thing filming for Orange is the New Black to go do that.
Oh shit.
Because he was a random character. He was in not the final season, but the one before that, and then I think he gets killed in the final season. He's a shithead, bodybuilder prison guard who's dumb as shit.
I don't know why, but when people die in that show, it does not affect me at all.
He's literally just there. He's like, "Well, how you doing there, Mr. Queen? Let me tell you something. We right here around the episode.
You want to come over and sit in my rocking chair?"
Yeah, I don't know. His Jeff Bridges impression, it was fine, I guess. Yeah.
I don't know. I wasn't really concentrated. I was that canary costume. It's taken 8 seasons to get a amazing canary costume. Finally,
black and yellow costume.
It's really good. Yeah.
Even though they literally took the original, they took the bunker set and just put purple lights instead of.
I dug it. I was fine with that.
Yeah, I was laughing the whole time. I'm like, this is great.
It's the Canary Cave.
Yeah. Also, it's a cheap show, and they know it. And they're like, we got to cut costs where we can.
Well, he even comments on it. He's like, oh, nice design. I've seen this before. It's yeah, Felicity designed it for us. He's
I love how he's just we have to find out who the arrow is. It's Malcolm Arlen. No, it's not. Yes, it is. No, it's not. Yes, it is.
Yeah.
I've done this before. I know what I'm doing.
That's to draw our attention away, because I've said for years that if they bring Tommy back, it's to make him Dark Archer, and I was right twice. So yay!
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm skipping all over the place because I'm so fucking happy with this episode. But the best part, I think, is when you got the whole Oliver's back home scene.
Oh yeah,
seeing how it plays out this time, seeing that Malcolm is now just John Barrowman, basically.
He's nice guy Malcolm, which I fucking love.
Well, I love that they actually referenced the other guy that was the stepdad for season 1. It's what happened to Walter? It's
he wasn't available. He wasn't available.
And I gotta say, the whole finding out what happened to Thea, I was like, oh my god, I'm even getting choked up, and it's only a quick little sentence, but Jesus.
Yeah.
Yeah, and well, then when Tommy like kind of breaks it down further, it's like, oh, he came in and she was just like dead. Like he came in and found her body.
Right. Yeah, that was really good. That was, yeah. I think this is a very well written episode, considering the amount that they have to do and the amount that they have to like set up and build to. Like, lots of stuff happened, but it didn't feel forced or unnatural.
Oh no! Like the whole John Diggle Oliver scene, I love that.
That was
scene.
perfect.
Yeah.
Which we need to spend like 5 minutes on Diggle and his new color motif and the very unsubtlety that they're doing with it.
Mm-hmm.
I noticed that. What did he do?
You mean all the fucking green?
Yeah, that his face light is now green. His jacket has green stripes. He has a green laser on his gun.
I mean, I wonder if Winston Zedmore is his dad with the last name Stewart. Wink, wink.
Yeah, they basically played their hand, and
he even came out and said at like a Comic-Con or something. He was like, "Yeah, we're going to really explore the Green Lantern mythos," and everyone was like, "The what?" And he's like, "Nothing."
Well, because like fans, I think it was like from like the first time he showed up, fans were like, "Oh, that's going to be John Stewart." Yeah, like no.
Yeah,
but I still like the whole bit where Oliver tries to sneaking out of the car, and he's like, "Nah, you've tried this crap before."
Yeah, I've seen you do this.
And Oliver's face is like, "Oh shit, you're my Diggle."
That was a really good reveal. Yeah,
I think that was my favorite reveal of the whole episode. Was just like him was like, "Wait, how do you?" Oh,
right. Well, there are a lot of moments that I think some people who are very critical viewers would have problems with. The fact that like it's very clear that Stephen Amell is smiling in that scene, not Oliver. He's having a good time.
Oh, I bet Stephen Amell had so much fun with this season.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, I guarantee. Like it's a lot of like, yeah, I'm smiling in a take, even though Oliver doesn't do that. But I don't care. It's my last season. Fuck you.
Yeah, but that's like the best way to do it. Yeah, it's a victory lap.
I'm still waiting for a whole episode where Oliver makes chili.
He did that though. They did it like a season or two ago.
Yeah, it was the end of the day. Damn it. The end of no, wait. It was the.
It's the last episode with William when they get drugged by like the crazy dude from the prison. He's making the chili. Yeah.
Yes, that was good.
And I think doesn't Felicity comment about it? She's like, "I never knew you could do this or something like that." Yeah.
The Felicity explanation for why she isn't in that episode was kind of great.
Yeah.
Also, the Emily Bett Richards lookalike was a fantastic touch.
And it's like, it's supposed to be blue.
I swear to God, I looked at her. I'm like, is that Emily Bett? No, not Emily Bett Richards. I'm like, I was so like, I thought that was her.
Because she said she's not there, which she's coming back for one episode.
Now, here's the thing, and Amel explained this. Her contract was for 7 seasons, and that's it. Like she was from a pure business perspective, completely done.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but I can see them coming back in like the series finale.
Yeah, I can
more than likely
with like just like a one-shot cameo of just like. Where it cuts to the end of the last season when she gets popped with the monitor and then she just runs and like hugs Oliver.
Mm-hmm. Right. I mean, or in episode 4 of this season, they go back to the famous chair that she stood up from and they revisit that scene. And they get to redeem themselves for that.
Oliver goes to an Earth where paralysis can be cured with just a little bit of anger.
See, did Flash do it first with the Harrison Wells standing up from his wheelchair?
That's where he's from. The whole Curtis running the IT department, that was a nice touch.
Yeah, that was nice.
It was a good way to cameo him without him being there too.
I kind of wonder what the deal with him is, or if they're that set of characters is going to show up more.
Yeah, I do wonder because it seems like we know that they're all going to be there at some point. But yeah, like I don't know. Are they going to keep on going to different Earths? Which, I mean, that's an interesting thing to do. Well, but like,
I think
I read see the island scene again.
I read from the next episode synopsis. They're back on Earth 1.
Okay. Yeah.
Well, the only 3 people that we haven't seen posting anything about filming is what's her name that plays Thea, Emily Bett Richards, and him. Mr. Terrific.
Well, we do know that Thea's coming back. She is in a trailer, so I can assume.
Yeah. Okay.
and I can't remember what season it is where she's like the sidekick. Is it like season 3 or 4?
It's 3, I think.
It's 3, and I think she's there for like the beginning of 4. So I assume one of those 2 episodes she's back. I assume people come back based off of who they were and their position in a season. So I imagine next episode's very Roy heavy.
Well, Roy is listed as a recurring character, so
yeah, and we get to. I assume we get to see Roy with Mirakuru again. They're not going to revisit everything that happened in each season. That would be ridiculous.
No, but we're definitely getting like a Slade episode, I feel like.
We're definitely going to have Manu Bennett come back. We're definitely, I hate to say it, but we're probably going to have Ra's al Ghul come back. We're probably going to have...
No,
I don't know. With any, that's the thing. I don't have problems with any of those villains coming back.
I have problems with Ra's coming back. 3 was the worst season.
Yeah, but here's the thing. My problems with 3 are like they're all Oliver related. They're not.
Yeah, I don't think he was bad. I think 4 is worse with Damien Dark. But yeah, I would rather them do like a thing where what if Oliver like go to an Earth and Oliver didn't give up being Roz or Raish?
Right, or he wasn't undercover ever. He just turned bad. That'd be interesting.
Yeah, this is a good gig. I'll keep it.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
It's like I can actually save the city this time. With the help of the League of Shadows or League of Assassins, whatever they call it.
But I do think, like, so in the trailer, we see what's clearly a person in League makeup, and that might be Shiva, because we've never seen that person before. Mm-hmm. So it might just be that the League is there in episode 3. I'm assuming that they're just going to go, this is season 2, so this is where we bring in stuff from season 2 we really like.
Well, they said that
revisit it.
Didn't they say Talia's still running around? Because that's what Thea and Roy were supposed to be doing, is going after her Thanatos League or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I forgot all about that.
Nissa will probably be showing up at some point. I won't be surprised.
Oh, she for sure. Yeah. Like she's all the women from the shows are like buddies and constantly posting on Instagram and stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, there was one thing from the episode before like completely abandoned it. So the end when what's his name as the Arrow is like talking, he says like, oh, you must be from an alternate. He's like, why would you say that? I was like, oh, Bruce Wayne once told me.
Yes, he says I wrote that down. I'm like, what?
So that's what I'm like, again, it's like, all right, so the island has the cow, but Bruce Wayne is at least talking to this Earth's version of Green Arrow.
Mm-hmm. That's why I assume that Batman, maybe he is Slade. Because that could be, or again, maybe he's Thomas.
Yeah, I think he could be Thomas the son.
Oh yeah.
Because in the books, the Owl Man is Thomas Wayne.
That would make sense, and most people who aren't
it's Alfred,
who aren't us, are not going to know Owlman. And remind me, in New 52, was Owlman connected to the court or not?
There was an Owlman that was connected to the court that claimed to be Thomas Wayne Jr.
Well, that's not what I was thinking when they did Earth 3 and
so that's the whole like, not to get too comic booky. So Earth 3 Owlman is not Bruce Wayne, it's Thomas Wayne Jr. Okay. And in all the adaptations, the Waynes have 2 children, and he ends up killing Bruce as well as his parents.
But they don't establish that he's connected to the court. Oh
no, they did a different. Yeah, the Earth. Like when they did the Court of Owls, there was another Owlman.
Yes, yeah. Who was kind of Thomas, but not really. I
will say right now, I know this is a probably serious topic, so I say this half kidding. I will say I think the Batman on this Earth is Alfred.
He could be. There's a lot of things he could be.
Careful, don't say that too loud. DC will make a show out of it.
Yeah.
Oops.
Yeah.
You just put that in the universe.
Here's what I think.
They already made an Alfred show. How worse could it get?
Yeah.
At the end of the Alfred show, he puts on a fucking bat suit.
Yeah. Having it be Thomas makes a lot of sense to me. Older Thomas. It makes a lot of sense to me because we already established that Ollie's father was supposed to be Arrow in this universe. That he was the Hood or whatever.
Yeah, what happened to that? What a weird retcon.
I think that guy's too old. And he also, in real life, only has one eye.
And they do say that he went to prison at some point in like
the Flash episode. That same one I was talking about with the phone. Yeah,
that's right. Yeah.
So my assumption is that mask is from when older Robert fought old Bruce, which is great in my head because it's just two old men beating the shit out of each other.
Oh, I want it. I want it right now.
I want it. And you know what it is? It's just like really slow with like epic like metal music in the background. There's just how walking like, yeah, fuck you.
It plays out exactly like the Gorn fight from Star Trek, but with like fucking music behind it.
It's like, wait, wait, my goddamn back.
Their punches are just very, very telegraphed. Just
no. Like their punches take like 5 miles an hour to go by.
They throw punches. That's what I want. You hear bones pop in every move.
Yeah, but they're hard punches. It's like
they have to take like a 1 hour break because one of them has to nap.
Yeah, that's how one of them lost. One of them fell asleep during the fight. That's what happened.
It's like the Dark Knight Returns fight, only lamer.
Yeah, exactly.
Wait, the Returns fight or the Rises fight?
The Rises fight.
Oh, maybe the Rises fight.
I was saying, because the Dark Knight Returns fight is amazing. The Rises fight is, I'm here now, and I'm going to just punch you in the face.
Sorry, I think what I meant to say beat you. I think what I meant to say was, it's like the Dark Knight Returns fight, but super lame. That's what I meant to say.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. I
did like the Bane Bruce Wayne fight at the end of the movie the first time I saw it, but then I was like, you're just punching each other in the face. Like, it's
I think when Batman kicks him into the bank and they kept switching between IMAX and regular, I was like, okay, we need to calm down here, Nolan.
Yeah. It's also he solves the problem by punching him harder.
Yeah. It's a version of the Thor.
I can't. There's actually there's a term for that, like in films and stuff. That like, oh, that's all that it takes.
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember. I heard it in a podcast.
I just call it the try harder problem.
There's also an entire bit in Dragon Ball Z Abridged where they solve the problem by punching harder. So you shouldn't have that in common.
Oh, in the second Cooler movie.
Yeah. Do not say try punching them harder, but did you try punching them harder?
That's the whole movie. Or the whole show,
What if I just try to push this giant octopus up much harder? What if I just try again?
My power level was right. So I think we should roll right into the actual meat of the crisis stuff. Earth 2 gone.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh, I loved how they did it too.
My
it
God,
was exactly.
I remember how it just seemed like so calm. Like it's just kind of like, oh yeah, hey, we got to go to this next thing. We got to get these particles, and then you just see nothingness. A red.
Well, that's how. Yeah. As just reading Crisis, I finished it like a month ago. That is what happens in the book. Like everything it's like a wave of white. And they actually did it in the show too, where there's like a red thing that's going on. Mm-hmm. I don't know if it was a cloud in the show or it was like electricity. So like in the book, like the skies turn red and red is like a sign that like that world is coming to an end. And then it's just like a wave of like the page being erased.
Yeah, I've got a picture of the Antimatter here where he's surrounded by like miniature versions of these red waves. So yeah, it looks pretty accurate. Also, the effect on people dying is horrific.
Yeah.
I literally saw that effect and I literally sat there. I'm like, they turned to dust.
Not even dust. Like the dust that they turned into doesn't have time to be dust before it's then also vaporized.
Yeah, it's like the dusting, but way faster, and like it seems like they feel it happening.
Like the Avengers,
it's aggressive.
Really quick.
Yeah.
But
and they do the ending with is the best because they chew like the last one is Moira and he's just like no and
oh god, the Moira one, I was literally almost screaming at my TV. I was like, why?
Yeah, and then, when Tommy ran around the corner, I was like, how did he get out of his room? But I kind of hope that we see more of that, and I actually hope maybe to like kind of transition off of this that we start to see Pariah soon. In these things,
I think you might see maybe in the episodes before this crossover starts, you'll see him.
Because I would actually like if he showed up on some of the other shows before Flash. Couldn't they be like, wait, why are you here, Wells? Which Wells are you?
I've seen trailers where he's on Supergirl.
Because I don't know if she's ever met.
Wait, has she met Wells? Just Wells.
Or not Pariah, I mean Monitor. He's on Supergirl. It looks like a lot. I haven't watched any Supergirl yet, but it looks like he's like an every episode thing, or at least this most recent episode that came out this week.
Well, yeah. Well, he had like a huge effect on their season finale.
Right. So I would imagine he would be on quite a bit. Because that would just make sense.
What are you doing?
Monsters against the CW verse and the setup that's going on.
The animals are all rising up against Connor and the CW.
Exactly. Yeah. It's like a Rise of the Planet of the Apes.
Tom Felton, Draco Malfoy's going to come in.
Yeah.
No, I was following Pagey a lot the last few weeks because he's got all this information. But the new Wells is supposed to be some kind of like Indiana Jones-esque kind of guy, but Australian and a little more sci-fi.
Oh my! Wait, please tell me Tom Cavanaugh's going to do an Australian accent.
He is.
That is gonna set the deal for me.
Yeah, that might be his pièce de resistance.
I also want to point out that on the multiverse map in Flash, if you look at it all the way to the right, there is an Earth marked Wells the Grey.
Yes, which is so good. Well, there's a lot of stuff in the map.
It's Wells doing a Ian McKellen impression.
Like the destroyed 1986 thing, which is I feel like that must just be an Easter egg, but if not, it suggests
that's when the comic itself ended.
Well, it might just be an Easter egg, but as I suggested in the chat, that might mean that universe went through Infinite Crisis 40 or so years ago, and that this is just a cycle that continues and repeats itself.
Oh shit!
Where they're constantly trying to destroy everything. So all these events happened already. The original Infinite Crisis book is canon technically, and this is just another Infinite Crisis that is happening. I
will say though, destroying Earth 2 like right off the bat in the premiere, I'm like, that's one way to raise some fucking stakes here.
Mm-hmm.
Well, also you're establishing that this event isn't just like you're taking it very seriously.
Yeah.
No, they are, and they're handling it well. I mean, for God's sakes, we've been to Earth 2. We've seen what's on there, and we've seen characters we know on there, and it's like, sweet Jesus.
Yeah, I'm wondering what Earths will be left toward.
Yeah.
I think
will we get a revisit to Earth X? Is my question.
I think it makes a cameo. Honestly, I hope someone watched it get destroyed and someone just goes like, someone looks around and goes, "No one's upset, right? We're all good with that." Like,
well, didn't somebody say that the Freedom Fighters are supposed to be making a cameo?
I mean, the Ray would make sense.
But I think someone talked about Uncle Sam or like somebody like that we haven't seen.
Yes, because they even say on I'm looking on the map that was in Flash, they do say on one of the Earths, home of the Freedom Fighters.
Yeah, because if I'm remembering it from the comic, I think those characters, some of them play like a pivotal role.
From the comic, you mean? They do.
Yes. I'm trying to remember which
Earth. If the planet with the big X on it is Earth X, or
I think that's Earth 2. I thought that was the Earth that died.
No, Earth 2 is labeled at the bottom because it has red arrows going towards it.
Which I assume is the trajectory, which means X is on that, assuming that like goes in like a spiral or something.
Most of the things is it would go circular, so like a kind of like a spiral, working from the outside and then going towards the middle, and one being like prime Earth.
Yeah.
Also, I just realized we never talked about Tommy being the Black Archer and going to do his own undertaking.
Yeah, that was interesting.
I liked the idea. I thought the way they did it made sense.
The reasoning behind it. I liked the reason.
Yeah, it was good. It was a nice play on the Malcolm reasoning, and it worked.
I feel like it was better than the Malcolm reasoning only because it's like my sister died because of the Glades. I want to see them destroyed. I'm like, okay, that's a good reason.
Yeah, it makes sense. It just fits with the Merlin family, with the way that their thought process works and all that. So. Yeah.
And then a quick little breaking news thing. Apparently, the episode before Crisis is going to make people cry, according to Stephen Amell.
I mean,
on Twitter.
That makes sense. Yeah. I think that they're gonna play with us. They're gonna toy with us.
Oh, they're gonna destroy my emotions before this crossover even starts.
The one character that I'm like waiting for to see how they use is Paul Blackthorne. I can't remember his character's name now, but like he's gotta come back. Like he was in every season, but like what, 1 or 2?
No, he was in every season, but this season right now.
Yeah, was he in last? Did he die last season or the season before?
I think he might have died in season 4. Hang on.
I don't remember.
Yeah, but like he
right now.
But like he was such a pivotal character because he basically became his father figure.
Yeah, I do wonder.
No, he does not show up. Oh no, he's listed as a guest star, but
I think they did a flashback episode to something, and it was like a scene where he was in it from like season 1 or 2.
So season 6, he died.
Yeah.
There are quite a few people. You go. Yeah.
I imagine he'll come back. I don't see a reason why he wouldn't make a cameo.
I mean, he was one of the most integral parts. So
the list of people I could see not coming back is like fucking Captain Cold, because he said he just doesn't feel like it, and he finished that character. But he
finished 2 versions of that character.
Yeah. So, but who knows?
You'll definitely get Derek Sampson and Bronze Tiger and Danny Brickwell.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah, they have to explain how Diggle gets Connor, because Connor is Bronze Tiger's kid.
Yes. Right. Oh yeah, you're right.
Yeah, I mean, that was the big reveal last season.
Michael Jai White's not hard to get a hold of.
No, and he's awesome.
Michael Jai White will do anything.
But also, he's awesome, and he can actually
that Western that he wants to do.
I'm trying to think what other characters they could possibly like pull back.
I mean,
I feel like we need to get like a return of original Malcolm in some way. Like this was nice.
Yeah.
I feel like you'll definitely get a return of Malcolm. I feel like with a lot of characters on the different Earths, you'll see like the mainstay characters in different lights. Like maybe you'll get evil. Maybe you'll get evil Malcolm, but at the same time, I feel like you're also gonna get like different versions of that character throughout this whole thing.
Yeah, I mean, it wouldn't really make sense, but like maybe the Legion shows up at some point. You know, like
Mon-El.
No, like
God,
supervillains.
Okay.
With the Reverse Flash and such.
Yeah, like. Yeah, it wouldn't make sense on this show for them to show up, but like, you never know.
But still,
Damien Dark and Malcolm coming back together.
Well, he fought what's his name like several times. Reverse Flash.
Yeah, he fought Reverse Flash twice in season 1.
Yeah,
that's when he has the nanoparticles that slow him down, and the Reverse Flash is like, that's cool, and then
I still remember the what is it in season? I think it was season 3 when Oliver was like, "I'm evil. I work for Ra's al Ghul," and he goes to fight. Reverse Flash. I'm like, that was something.
Yeah.
That actually reminds me, because in that same fight is the original Firestorm. I feel like there's no way that we don't get a return of Robbie.
Right, and address the fact that he should have been Savitar, obviously. Also,
he got the X-Files. That's why
they just break the fourth wall. Barry's like, I swore that you were Savitar.
He's like, I thought I was too, and then the suit opened up and it was you.
And then you stepped out. I don't know what happened there.
Anyways, back to Arrow, because that would be interesting.
Now, who do you think they do for Prometheus if they revisit that season?
They have to bring Josh back as evil Prometheus or something, I would imagine.
Thea?
It's Roy.
Maybe?
Roy or Thea would be interesting.
I mean, for episode 5, if it's like, they go to a universe where he won, even though he did win before, but he really, really wins, that would be something.
He was like, "Yeah, I shot Oliver's son in the head, and I blew up an island. I killed like 30 people." Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like looking back to see what random cast they could, what random side character they could have to come back.
Cody Rhodes.
Yeah, he'll definitely come back.
I would actually be very okay, because Stardust was an interesting character
Maybe they'll bring back Solomon Grundy. Oh no!
I don't think they can actually get away with calling him Stardust anymore, because since Cody's not with the WWE, I think they would have a problem with them doing that.
Well, I don't even know the last time he was on they called him that. I think they just called him by his name, the character's name.
Well, he had a character, but he had like a villain name. I don't remember what it was though.
No, his villain name was like Stardust or something.
Or was it? Yeah, well, that's what it was like. You're funny, guys. That was sort of,
Do we want to talk about everybody that we haven't talked about who has been cast or shown up and stuff? Because like some of the bigger ones that were newer is like they cast Jim Corrigan for Infinite Crisis.
Yeah, I think we can talk about the Crisis news here, and then
Do we want to? I don't know. I'm getting off topic because I don't know if this should be in it. But do we want to do that for the other one, or do we want to do that here?
We kind of summed up Arrow already, so I think we can do one. Because so that should be fine.
Yeah. I'll just say like Jim Corrigan being cast is fucking crazy for this. For those who don't know, that's the cop who becomes the Spectre.
Oh,
yeah, they got the Spectre for this. They're going.
Which, that is a gigantic character, which if you don't know comics, he's kind of like Ghost Rider, except way more bigger cosmically.
Yeah, he's
he would be equal.
He's a ghost.
Yeah, well, he's the sword of God in DC Comics. Like he would be equal power footing with the Monitor and the Anti-Monitor.
I just feel like if Guggenheim and Berlanti and they can pull this off, they have succeeded in every single possible fashion they can do with this.
Yeah. Because I'm trying to think what... Yeah, like they've done everything. And we've gotten so we have Burt Ward from the 66 is returning as Robin. We have 3 different Supermen in this. We have the animated Batman is going to be playing Bruce Wayne.
In live action.
Yep. In live action form.
I mean, it'd be kind of nice if Will Friedle showed up as Terry McGinnis, or someone was Terry McGinnis.
I guarantee you that whatever the interaction with old Bruce is, it will end with him saying, "Sorry about that, Terry. What were you saying?" And then he'll go back to or someone will address him from outside the room, and he'll go, "It's nothing, Terry."
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah,
I'm trying to think. Oh, we have the one that came out of completely left field, which is Birds of Prey. Which pictures have leaked of that, of Helena Wayne, I believe, which was that version's Huntress.
Oh boy, man, I can't believe someone acknowledged that show this far removed from it. I went back and watched some clips from that show. Holy shit.
I am astonished.
What were we thinking?
Again, what I do want is I want them to acknowledge the DC Universe shows, and I want the Wave to come to their Earth, and Brendan Fraser looks at it and says, "Fuck no," and just walks off set.
Yeah, there's been no information about Doom Patrol, but the Titans are supposed to cameo. Yeah, they're supposed to,
which would make a ton of sense.
Yeah, they're supposed to look out the window as an antimatter wave is coming at them.
Well, because I guess this kind of gets to are they going to do what Crisis on Infinite Earths did in the comics?
You mean bring this
to one universe
together? Yeah.
Because why else do this besides doing? Because if you don't have some sort of if you don't have some sort of real stakes,
I don't think it will be one Earth. I think we'll get a few, and those will be your main few Earths.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. I feel like
do you think they're going to put Helen Slater back in the Supergirl costume?
I think she'll get a version of a Supergirl costume. She's already been in Supergirl.
Right.
And that's another one.
I was just thinking, is there going to be another version that shows up?
Well, they're putting what's-her-name in a Wonder Woman costume who's also been on Supergirl.
Right, yeah.
Linda Carter? Is she back?
Yeah, she's coming back as Wonder Woman.
Which is why I'm
yes.
Yeah, dude. Which is why I'm they have to do something with that. They have to do something else. I was saying in a chat, you bring in Diana's mother from Earth 1 or whatever, and she has a scene with her or something, that has to happen, right? This has to be a Diana from another Earth where they're all older and she's
she could be sort of from Kingdom Come. as well.
She could be. Yeah, she definitely could be. She could also be like time traveling Diana, because again, I think they are going to actually bring their version of Earth 1 Diana at some point. I've said before they'll introduce her in Batgirl if they do it anywhere.
I don't know why you keep saying Batgirl. You're diminishing her.
Or Batwoman, whatever. I don't.
How dare you? How
such
dare
a
you?
non-character to me. The fact that she has a show is like, oh, she does have a show. That's right. Yeah, because it's like, give her a different name, I guess. Give her a more distinctive name.
That's all the Bat people. They all have their own names.
Crazy idea that will probably never work. Ezra Miller showing up as Flash.
Of all of them, he's the most likely.
Yeah, because I've said before, it's written for you. Ezra shows up in Barry's version of Star Labs, and they have a conversation. Only the version of that for this would be Barry shows up in his version of Star Labs. Our Earth 1 Barry shows up there for some reason.
Or they could have him be the version of the Flash that dies.
Mm-hmm. Sure. Yeah.
Oh no!
Yeah, I'm glad you brought the movies up, because I can't believe that fucking Hollywood and their big budgets and the whole blockbuster atmosphere doesn't get to touch this fucking comic book event because TV got to it first.
Okay, so this is the reason why I'm so like into this stuff, into the CW stuff. It all kind of started with Invasion. I was like, okay, and then I'm like, okay, this is a start. And then Crisis on Earth X happened. I'm like, that was a better Justice League movie than the actual fucking Justice League movie.
Yeah,
like, how does that work?
Yeah, it was. Yeah,
me and Arlen showed Joe from Movie Dumpster the church fight from Crisis on Earth X, and he was like, "Why is this so much better than the movies?"
It really is, though.
He was like, "This is better choreographed. It's more engaging than the fucking movies." Like, why is that? And we both told him, we're like, "Yeah, it's because you have people who give a shit."
Yeah, every single person loves these characters.
Yeah.
Which I just wanted to ask you guys. So, like, one of the biggest characters of Crisis on Infinite Earths is Psycho Pirate. I don't know how they do that character.
I mean, you see him at the end of Elseworlds.
Do we see Psycho Pirate?
Yeah, no, you do. When he's like, worlds who live, worlds will die, and the universe will never be the same. That's him.
I don't remember seeing that whatsoever.
Yeah, that's like the literal last scene when
it was a big deal because he says the line from Crisis.
Yeah. And that's when they're like, coming next year, Crisis on Infinite Earths. I'm like, oh shit.
Lou's like, there was an Elseworlds crossover?
Oh, yeah, okay. I remember he had the mask, but he didn't have the full costume. Yes, now I remember who you're talking about. I wanted to see him in his stupid checkered costume. And
with a pop collar and everything?
Yes, and a better mask.
Now, I'm kind of wondering how much Black Lightning is going to play into this, because I am not caught up with the show whatsoever.
He's on the Wave Rider in that one picture, so...
Yeah. I mean, they'll clarify what universe he's in, which is nice because
we can finally put that to bed.
So, do you think afterwards they're all going to show up in like each other's worlds because it's all going to be like one thing?
I think that to me, this is, if they don't make this like one universe, at least all the TV stuff, this is not as bad as Flashpoint, but it's close up there of like, why were you wasting this moment to do that?
I don't see them doing that. I think they're going to make it one universe.
Especially with like the DC app stuff. It's like, why separate that stuff out? If you make it all one thing, it brings people to the app.
Yeah,
I could still see them separating things somewhat, like if they can get permission, I guess, from Warner Brothers, like establish what universe the movies are in.
I don't mind them like the DCEU being separate, or like cartoons being separate, or like that stuff. But like, I guess like, I don't know what you call like now TV, but like serialized episodes,
right?
Live action shows should be in the same thing. And I also want to say, to take a shot at one show, I am so glad that there's one show that no one's mentioning is going to have any sort of cameo in this.
What one?
Gotham.
Oh, Gotham.
Yes, because I think there's even rumors like, isn't somebody from Krypton supposed to be showing up?
Yeah, that was something that Alan said.
Can you imagine just seeing like imagine seeing like young Bruce Wayne in that stupid Batman costume show for like
and then a red antimatter wave just hits him right in the ass.
Well, yeah, I've said if they're gonna do anybody, it's gonna be Jim from that show because he's the thing about that show that people who don't like it like. He's the universal like positive thing. So if it's anything, it's him. But other than that, I don't see them. Yeah.
So
other than
he looks out and he sees the end coming. He's like, oh, finally.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it's him arresting Penguin, and then they both turn into dust.
That, or I would just prefer like they show an Earth from a view from space. It just says the Gotham Earth, and then it just gets wiped out.
Yeah, that would be so much better. They're like, oh, that's the Earth. We don't talk about it.
Like the wave is coming and it skips over Teen Titans Go. Like it does a hop. It goes right over. It goes right
Well, I would actually love if like somehow like, and the only person that's ever done this is Grant Morrison because he's fucking crazy. Where he tied in like a universe where they're all like little kid versions. I can't remember which.
Wow. There's a comic online. There's a webcomic. It's called JL9, I think.
Yes, I have read it for a long time too.
It's the DC universe, but they're all attending elementary school, and they're all.
I think they're in kindergarten.
Yeah, it's fantastic. That's where
Connor.
That's where the picture of Reverse Flash with the pencils in his mouth comes from.
Oh wow!
Now, Connor, let me ask you a question. If are they going to go to the DC Abridged universe and Alfred's just going to tell them no?
Alfred backhands the antimatter away. He's like, "Not this time."
Well, I guess do we want to talk about how the Anti-Monitor looks? So that was one of the things that came out.
Yes, he looks like a White Walker.
Yeah, I saw that and I didn't think about it because I was too excited. And I'm like, God damn it! Now I can't unsee it.
Yeah, I wish that it does fit apparent from the comics, but like
in the comics we don't. Yeah.
Oh, you're coming in and out there.
Oh, I was stopping because a video started playing and I got very confused about who was talking because I clicked on a picture of the Anti-Monitor. So like in the comics, we only ever see really his chin.
Yeah.
So he like seeing his whole face like this is weird. But usually has like some sort of a helmet and then like a helmet on top of that helmet, like the big bullet one, which I get why they wouldn't go with that version. But putting this actor in all this makeup is not better.
Yeah. He looks like Emperor Palpatine's goofier looking cousin.
I assume they'll put the helmet on him, but like this
because it's like a big part of the comic that when the helmet comes off.
Yeah, like
man, I don't want to see the helmet with the stupid ass teeth.
Yeah.
I love his big dumb teeth.
Yeah, that's great. I love the fact that he looks like I think it's the end of Forever Evil. It's my favorite part of that entire series is it ends on him and he looks like Robbie the Robot kind of. He's just like these giant teeth and he's all like radioed out. He looks like a Tron character. But he looks insane and it's great. I remember
that's how Oliver dies. The Anti-Monitor eats him.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm looking now through multiversity like stuff. I was like, oh, I forgot. There's a planet where everyone's cartoon animals.
Great.
There's a planet of like fantastic hippies where Green Lantern is like looks like Shaggy.
Also, quick confirmation. Mark Guggenheim did say the trailer is dropping in November or a teaser of some kind.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, yeah, that's
about a month out from the crossover. I could see it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I already didn't know
I was going to have a cliffhanger. So
I didn't know Guggenheim was also working on Titans and those shows.
Yeah, Guggenheim and Berlanti are like the two big guys on DC's TV side right now.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they're the only ones left. So
I also noticed that Kreisberg was still credited in this.
Yes, I saw that too. He has to have some
contractual thing.
Yeah, so he's still getting checks. He hasn't been doing anything else.
Yeah.
I imagine it's very much like the John Peters thing with Ben. It's like, yes, yes, you are. No one's ever going to see you on one of these sets ever again.
Mm-hmm. It's like that governor or senator who like owns part of Batman or something and gets to be on the movies. I hope I'm not getting that wrong. He's in every one of them.
Before we go.
Go ahead.
Sorry, go ahead. I was just gonna say, like the last kind of news thing from like any of the CW stuff was, I just want to talk about Wayne Brady is going to be the antagonist in Black Lightning.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the character is kind of awesome.
Is Wayne Brady going to have to choke a Black Lightning?
Yeah. So he's playing Gravedigger, who's like
Wayne Brady have to choke a bitch.
Yeah, he's playing Gravedigger, who's like Black Captain America, that's basically the same kind of idea, but during like Vietnam. But at some point, like when the war's over, he's still disgusted with the lack of like integration and doesn't come back to the United States. And his entire goal is to create in the comics, to create a place where metas can live separately from humanity. So he's like very Magneto-y. Yeah.
Yeah,
he's like
Magneto.
Yeah, he's like Captain America with Magneto's kind of thoughts.
Yeah, that's that. I'm curious how they'll integrate that into Black Lightning. Yeah, I need to watch Black Lightning season 2. I didn't watch it.
So do I.
Me too. I got one episode in, and it was fascinating.
Yeah, it's just it's the problem with those 20 plus episode seasons.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, I've been saying it for fucking years before I even had a show to say it on. Like,
on the quick little news, it relates to the Arrowverse. As it turns out, there is going to be they're going to have the character show up, I guess, in an audiobook podcast format.
Oh.
I'm putting the link. Yeah, but I guess they're going to have new series based on Arrow, Flash, and Supergirl. And they're launching it this fall.
It makes sense. Like, Marvel's done 2 of them, and then isn't somebody else doing like an audio drama?
They're doing Marvel's next.
Yeah, Marvel's done 2 because they did 2 different Wolverine ones.
No, I'm saying they're doing Marvel's next.
Oh, okay.
Marvel's.
Oh, you know what I was thinking? A BBC America show, Orphan Black, did like a post-season, like they finished their season.
So this is the same company who did that.
Okay.
Oh.
Interesting. Yeah. I mean, you could say anything at this point in regards to Crisis, and I'd believe you. Yeah, like it was rumored that the star of Lucifer was going to be on because people saw him on set, and
he shot that down quick.
Oh, I didn't hear he shot it down.
He did shoot it down.
Shot that down.
He didn't confirm anything, but like, dude, they saw you, or a dude who looks a lot like you, like.
Well, he's very hard to mistake because based on we know Welling's there. Welling was on Lucifer. He's bigger than Welling,
right?
Like taller. He's like 3 inches taller than Welling. He's like 6'5". Mm-hmm. He's a 6'5", like gorgeous British man.
Right.
Also, last thing, I hope Joaquin Phoenix shows up as Super Kid.
Yes, that'd be great. Yeah, it'd be great if he showed up and he's just he's holding a pair of gold teeth in his hand. That'd be really good. I'd really enjoy that. Kick out of that.
Jared Leto's going to try to break onto the set.
Yeah.
Well, this might be a good transition then to the Batman stuff.
Yeah, I think we can kind of end on that stuff. Unless anybody wants to go on past it.
But I'm good. I got everything I want to say. I am so happy that it's almost crossover time.
Yeah, it's gonna be fucking great. I feel like once the crossover actually starts, a shit ton of stuff will have already happened. So I think going into it, we'll have a really good setup.
Yeah. I get the feeling that I assume that we were going to be a while before we were in Infinity War time. But I think it's very clear that we are in Infinity War. It's just going to play out.
If you count hours, like they're well past Marvel in hours for this like giant crossover.
They are past it in hours, but like I feel like just in terms of like dramatic stuff that has happened, they just got to Thanos just blowing up that ship completely and having just killed Loki and everybody else on the board.
I think the big thing though is that like because Stephen Amell is leaving, it like put the pressure to have to do this now since he's been their Batman.
Yes.
But also like I don't know how much longer do you think Grant and Melissa are going to do this?
I assume because we know that it's not as taxing, but it's still a taxing thing, and this is what really surprised me about both of them because they were pretty established. Her more than him. Like she was in an Oscar-nominated movie.
Well, yeah, they were both in Glee, but then she's been in way more movie stuff. He has done like almost nothing.
Right. He was in this weird movie with William H. Macy that directed, but other than that, nothing. Melissa.
He also he did a short film that got a lot of praise with Tom Cavanaugh called Grant and Tom.
Yeah, but that was post. Obviously, them on Flash.
But yeah, no, she's done like Whiplash, Jay and Silent Bob reboot.
Right. So like, they could both be doing other things, and the fact that either signed on again, him, I'm less surprised. But like at this point, he could easily go and do like real deal movies and stuff. Like it's the Andrew Lincoln problem of like, why would he stay on The Walking Dead? Why wouldn't he like go be in Marvel or DC movies or whatever else the hell he wants to be, because he easily could if he wanted to. So like,
and like with her, she definitely seems to have better chops, like at dramatic stuff. I feel like
way better.
Yeah, because
Grant's poor little baby face, doesn't do favors.
Yeah. The only thing that I would be interested in, which I remember hearing him on when he like first started on Flash, he went on like Kelly Ripa's show, and they were like, everyone says that he looks like young Dick Van Dyke, and they're like, if they were ever to do like a biopic, that's who he could play.
I'd see it.
Yeah, I can see it. Yeah,
I mean, just the novelty value, I'd watch it.
Yeah, easily. So yeah, the Batman news. The main thing is they cast. I'm forgetting
two characters: Paul Dano as the Riddler and Zoe Kravitz as Catwoman.
Paul Dano is literally pitch perfect casting for Riddler.
Yeah.
And I can't remember which one you guys were saying, and they were like one of the chats, like the rumors they're going for Long Halloween, which these characters make sense for that plot.
I can see it.
Yeah.
Especially for Wonder Woman, or not Wonder Woman, Catwoman.
Yes.
My word's confused. Especially for Catwoman in that story, because it's very Earth 1. That people don't really think about it this way, but that's technically Earth 2, or not Earth 2, Year 2 for Batman. And
it's basically a direct sequel to Year 1.
So like it's still that very early. I was a prostitute 3 weeks ago, Catwoman.
Yes.
And
which I'm sure they will drop that.
I assume so, but it's still the same. Like I was literally just a person on the street living my life.
It's inspired by. Which
I imagine.
And then the what's his name said he like dropped out of it or like turned down a role. I don't remember. Jonah Hill.
Which I get that because
of all the characters, if it's Long Halloween, I could see him being Calendar Man, and I don't know if he wants to be that. And I actually don't know if I would want him to be that.
Yeah, I don't know if it's weird. I want better things for Jonah Hill. Is that a weird thing to say?
No, he's a good serious actor. And I don't know
if you throw him in a Batman movie, I'm just gonna look at the screen and go, "That's Jonah Hill." That's
right.
Yeah, I feel like having Jonah Hill in a Batman movie would be incredibly hard to pull off, just because it'd be so distracting. Like that's one of the reasons why.
Yeah. He'd need to be a character who's like buried in makeup or something.
Which Calendar Man he would not be able to. And I think like I feel like if he did like a Penguin, like he would fall back into being funny Jonah Hill, which I'm like, we don't need funny Batman characters.
You know who he'd be great as Clayface. He'd be a good Clayface. Because that character can change, he can use sort of all of his
I could see him as Scarface.
Actor. Yeah.
That would be really good actually.
That would be interesting.
Because that's a weird role to play too.
Well, that's a weird ass character.
Yeah,
that's a weird ass character. Because it's a little doll that's dressed like a gangster. That could also go really wrong if they're like trying to do like modern day gangsters, and it's like Jonah Hill doing the voices. That could go.
Well, it depends. Like
Jeff Dunham.
I could because we don't know a whole lot about this movie. If they tried to do like a period piece on this, like I wouldn't be against like a period piece Batman movie. Like to set it in like the 80s or something, like would be fine with me. Or
it could be mid 90s also, or late 90s. I'd be into that as well. Whatever they're doing with it. At this point, I'm like, we talked about this in many chats, and I don't know how many times we talked about it on the show, but like Matt Reeves stormed out of an office. Yes. And then he came back days later because they had given him everything that he wanted. So like whatever they're going to do, it's going to be something interesting, and it's going to be very, very him, which is something I'm excited about because there was so much drama at the very beginning that they're not going to like take the movie away from him the way that they have been known to do in the past, I would assume.
There was some rumors recently with the Joker movie that they wanted to like bury that.
Which, that was smart, guys.
It fits into what Warner Brothers has done.
Yeah, it does fit with what they're doing. And there was a lot of other stuff. Jared Leto wanted to kill the Joker movie, which another thing I said.
I just put that article up, and you know what? Jared Leto is a fuck.
Yeah. Well,
maybe he didn't want to kill the Joker. Just everybody on set said kill yourself, and that's why he came up with that.
Maybe. I think so. Part of it is like jealousy, obviously. Part of it is like, why am I not doing that movie? Right, but like,
why does everybody hate me?
Good of an actor compared to Joaquin Phoenix.
Well,
I haven't won an Oscar, and I understand it. That was a good role, but you're not that good of an actor.
But does Joaquin Phoenix have his own cult?
Yeah, that's fair.
God, I've seen pictures of that Camp Marsing, and that terrifies me to no end.
Yeah, but and then the other part that I've said in one of the chats is like, that has to be him admitting that his Joker wasn't good. That has to be part of it, right? That's
like, to me, I think he's one of those people has the actor ego of, no, people just didn't get my art.
Yeah,
I think he's one of those guys that's just like, no, it's not that my thing was bad. You guys just didn't get my art. I'm an artist.
So is it more that he's worried that Phoenix is going to outshine him? Which, I mean, he did.
It's already done.
He did. He definitely
I think it's more like, I don't want to go down as the worst Joker. Because right now, he is far and away the worst Joker. Like, it's more talking about the other ones, who's the best. And then it's like, oh yeah, and his is the worst.
Well, here's the thing. Before him, I don't think there was a Joker that anybody hated.
No, even going back to the TV show, like people
no one really outright hated performance of the Joker until Jared Leto came in.
Right. Nobody hated I can't remember his real name, Bender's Joker. Nobody hated him. Or was that Bender or is that somebody else?
I think there's like one of the animated ones that people didn't like.
That was maybe the Batman because it sounded.
Is that the one that has like the dreads look? Yeah, that's the only one people have ever commented on.
Also, Brent Spiner is a shitty Joker. I love Brent Spiner, but he was a shitty Joker.
Yeah.
Which one was he on?
Young Justice.
Yeah, he's
okay. Yeah, I don't like the design of that one either. But I like the one that did Dark Knight Returns, like most people like.
The guy from Lost, he was great.
Yeah.
Great, yeah.
And like every other version. But like, again, going back to what's his name in the 60s, like people still like that Joker too.
Yeah.
Like he still has a great laugh and everything.
There was that period of time where people were just like, they hated that show without realizing what a great comedy that show is. Like, it's a satire of the moment in time. It's just removed from that time. So that's
the comic was also very much that character at the time, like before and during. Like the Batman and the Batman characters didn't change until Dark Knight.
Yeah,
or Dark Knight Returns. Yeah, like that's when that changed.
Like even some of the gay subtext stuff, like that's in Batman. There's as much as
you can't not when he's running around with a teenage boy.
Yeah. Like, as much as I think Seduction of the Innocent was, like, a crock of shit, like, he wasn't wrong. There was some gay subtext going on in Batman.
Yeah. There's a reason why the show had to put in, like, a female character living in the house. Because it's, like, it's too weird to have two adult men and a young boy living in a giant mansion together.
Right. It's odd. Yeah. Anyways, I think we went a little bit off the road there, but Paul Dano's gonna kill it. I don't have like any worries about that.
Yeah.
No, Paul Dano is like, if you've seen like There Will Be Blood or even Swiss Army Man, that man can do it really
well. Even if we go like normcore, right? Like, fucking, what's that movie where they're in the van with the family and
Prisoners?
Little Miss Sunshine?
Yes, Little Miss Sunshine.
Like, yes, the movie about the child getting murdered, Lou. That's the exact right movie.
Yes, but no, I wasn't talking about that one. That's a great. But I'm talking about stuff, John, that like my grandma would have seen. She's seen Little Miss Sunshine. Even in that movie, he's great, and he doesn't say like a word in that movie. It's mostly just like looks and body language.
And to me, like casting him says, "Oh, we're going with a very specific direction for that character." And the same goes for Zoe Kravitz. It's like we are going serious. We're going to go heavy. We got actors, and we're not going any sort of. It's like not going campy, but also not going into whatever you want to call the Nolanverse, like ultra realistic for whatever way it is.
There were a couple directions that I kind of expected them to go before this. Like I was thinking, okay, well they said some stuff about Arkham. And that might have been during the Ben Affleck days, and there was all that. But I'm thinking it's not going to be Long Halloween, because I think the parts of that are really worth doing in terms of the actual plot, that's stuff they did already. But the way Halloween works, I think those things they can take.
Reeves has always said he wants to put like the world's greatest detective on film. So the ideas in the Long Halloween lend to that.
Yes, the sort of
the mystery of
episodicness. The sort of like the Seven, I guess, aspects of it, where it's like there's a case and there are clues, and we're trying to put it together. And I think we could get something that's very much like Zodiac, or again like Seven, or any of those sort of. Yeah,
Seven works like very well as an idea for like what we could see in this. And then, which makes me think we need to get like, if they do Calendar Man, they need to get someone who can just be like a really good heavy, like not very verbal, but just like beyond like kind of what D'Onofrio does, but like he doesn't fit the physicality of that character. I
do wonder if Riddler becomes their Calendar Man stand-in.
Perhaps. I feel like that's. I get where you're going. I would not like that.
I wouldn't like it either. I would rather that maybe they're both in prison or something. I do think that you do Calendar Man, and then Riddler is sort of just like he's the year 2 villain, but I don't think he's revealed to be the ultimate bad guy. I do think you have sort of a twist at the end where, but I don't think you do Harvey again, because people will see that coming.
That's like the problem with doing like, this is our, what number Catwoman are we up to? 4?
But even Catwoman hasn't been
5 if you're counting the TV show.
And like Riddler, this is our 2nd, 3rd if you count the TV show. So like I can see, and I would want Reeves to pull characters we have not seen yet. So like Calendar Man would be great.
I don't want Reeves to do characters we've seen a bunch of times. I mean, Riddler's great. If we could get other guys in that mix in there that we haven't seen often, that'd be even better. Like I'm happy that Riddler's the main bad guy.
Yeah, and I could see aspects of, I don't think they'll, I mean, actually Reeves might have played Arkham Origins, but I could see aspects of Arkham Origins coming in. I wouldn't want them to do Joker. That's actually my biggest problem.
No, like, but you can mostly
need him.
You can mostly have Riddler take the Joker's place in most things. He's basically a knockoff. He's a lesser Joker.
There's a lot of stuff where like those two characters overlap. There's a reason why was it during Death of the Family, where Joker's like, "Sorry, pal, I can't have you coming in stealing my shtick." Yeah, or something.
And then Snyder did War of Jokes and Riddles,
right?
Because like they're those two characters, and but again, like I would prefer if he did more of the heady characters. Like Calendar Man would be cool. I'm trying to think who else would be like kind of like that. Like Clayface would be interesting. Like kind of like the heavier, darker characters, like more emotional characters. Yeah. Like, and again, if he's like, if you're having all these like, walking through, like, I would love to see like random cameo by Maxie Zeus. Like, give me a deep cut, goofy ass character, but like play everything like very serious.
Yeah, we have a very, very young Irish actor playing young Ian McGregor. Or what if they CG him? What if they CG Ian McGregor into the movie as like young Ian, where he's like train spotting age.
It's playing like young what is Black Mass name? Sionis.
Yeah.
Roman Sionis or something?
Yes.
That would be crazy. That would be insane.
But that would be a good thing if they like have like Penguin as like the club owner, because I believe in the comics Penguin is who fucks over his family that makes him become a gangster.
Yeah. Yeah, and you could do sort of a Godfather 2 thing with it, where like, yeah, it's young Sionis, and then he sort of has like he's sort of like the background of the trilogy that they do, maybe, where it's his sort of rise to power. Maybe, I don't know. That could be something.
Yeah. I have no idea what Reeves has planned for this, but I am so excited.
Yep. Yeah, I'm into it. He's good at he's good at making things that are interesting and taking from a lot of different influences, and he said a lot during those Apes movies that his main influence was Apocalypse Now. So I assume his influence here is going to be The Godfather.
I was going to say, that's a good segue into maybe something we could close out on with The Godfather.
Yeah, that might be a good place to close out, actually.
Francis Ford Coppola's like an old cunt.
Here's the thing.
You know what? That hurts me because I'm a fan of The Godfather. I'm a
fan of course. Who's not a fan of The Godfather?
Everybody loves The Godfather.
The Outsiders.
I'm not a fan of the like chronological cut of The Godfather, though.
Fair.
There are parts of that I like. I like seeing
the pacing is not. I think the pacing is the problem in that cut.
I agree, but I do think opening in Italy with the father getting shot, I like that. I like that quite.
Yeah, okay, yeah. Thematically, it works better, but like it's paced like a goddamn crawl.
I do think that. I think that there is a way to do Godfather 2 and 1 as one movie, and to cut it in an interesting way, but I don't think the chronological cut does that well. I think, if anything, that cut is an argument for why you should not cut movies chronologically.
Yeah.
Anyways, what was I going to say? My problem with it is this. I know for a fact that if I were to go back and read articles from when Coppola was doing Apocalypse Now, or any of the other movies he was doing in the 70s, when Lucas was doing Star Wars, when Spielberg was doing Jaws, there were older directors from the previous generation doing the exact same thing these guys are doing right now.
Oh, they're like,
saying the exact same kind of bullshit.
I mean, for God's sakes, Coppola led the new Hollywood filmmaking thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And there were directors who were old as shit then, who were probably saying dumb shit about what they were doing.
Yeah, I am like, as dumb as Scorsese's comments were, like, Coppola's comments are even dumber. Like, it's like
Scorsese, I can at least forgive because Scorsese's coming in kind of like there are amusement park rides there, this and that. He says it in like a more nicer way, and he says it in a more like. I'm trying to think.
He says that he couldn't actually finish the movies, which.
But again, I want to know which movie he tried to watch, because I'm like,
it's Thor 2.
What movie did they show him? Did they show him
X3?
Iron Man 2?
No, I think it's not even any of the MCU stuff. I think it's like X3, unless it's like
Batman v Superman.
I feel like
him an actual MCU movie. Like
the only thing I can think of is if it's like Guardians, and he just doesn't like sci-fi. He's just like, what is this shit?
Okay, that would make a lot of sense, though, because he never made a sci-fi movie.
Because it's like, Guardians isn't even a superhero movie. It's fucking sci-fi, like Star Wars. It has no connection to superheroes. They are...
Well, here's the thing, though. Scorsese has like two things that he does, and then these like weird outliers. He does weird like period pieces where he like kind of breaks the rules and sort of goes outside the lines of what you think a period piece is. And then he does gangster movies or movies that are about contemporary people sort of just going through life and experiencing things, and things happen to them. And it's very much like slice of life for this one person and their experience. And then Cape Fear, which is its own category altogether.
Hugo.
He doesn't do sci-fi or anything sort of in that.
I will say Hugo was his one attempt at fantasy, and it went out pretty well.
Sure. It's very like light fantasy, though. So like, okay, fine. If he doesn't like Guardians, whatever. It's not his taste. Like, my memory is that he was one of the people during George's screening where he showed all his friends Star Wars. He was one of the people who just didn't get it.
Yeah, no, I was actually just listening to the best movies never made when they were talking about ET2. There's two people in that group that got Star Wars. Spielberg, and then I can't remember the other guy's name that.
Oh, no.
Well, no, obviously Lucas.
There was an audio biography podcast called Blockbuster that just went over this.
I think it was like John Sayles or something. It was somebody that was
Spielberg.
Might have been Sayles.
Spielberg was the only one who gave positive notes. That like
De Palma and Coppola were fans.
Yeah, I think it was John Sayles because like they were talking about like a Star Trek, and they're like, yeah, he had seen the Star Wars stuff, and Paramount was like, or whoever it was like, oh yeah, we don't think sci-fi is a thing anymore. And he's just like, I just saw a movie by my friend, and it's going to be a thing.
Well, John Sayles was like he was a genre guy. Like he was a very much like I don't care what genre it's in. I'll write a movie about a killer alligator. Fuck you. I'll do whatever the fuck I want.
I'll make my own Star Wars knockoff, and it'll be kind of loved.
Yeah, I'll write a movie about an alligator, and then I'll write like a heartbreaking drama or something.
Seriously, Bobby, on the start, everyone watch.
Yeah, it's actually pretty good.
I would say to go back to Coppola, though, it's like he hasn't done a whole lot in a long time.
Yeah,
like I'm looking at like some of them, like I don't even know some of these movies that he's done in the last 20 years.
I know a lot of them, but I've never seen a single one.
Like.
The last one he directed himself was the big one was The Rainmaker. I mean, Youth Without Youth, I remember hearing about.
I don't remember that movie at all.
The Rainmaker with Matt Damon?
Yeah.
It was like a John Grisham movie, or based off one of his books.
Yeah.
Youth Without Youth, I've heard about, but I've never actually seen.
And a lot of them I know them from scrolling past them on Netflix. Like Tetro is a movie that I've never seen, but I know the
Distant Vision is a thing at a community college in UCLA School of Theater that's like an ongoing experimental film.
Yeah, and like Twix, like I didn't even hear this. It says Elle Fanning and Val Kilmer and Bruce Dern.
Yeah. I'll be honest, I read this title, I thought he made a movie about the making of Twix.
No. Well, and I remember that one because it was like a big deal because he went to Comic-Con to promote it, and it was like his return to horror since Dracula, which is like his last great movie. Like that's the last time he did it.
No, you were not a fan of Jack, the story about the aging child played by Robin Williams.
No. Not a fan. Not a fan of that.
Coming
with his mom is Diane Lane,
and his teacher, who he had a crush on, was Jennifer Lopez.
Anyways, the director of the conversation is shitting on Marvel movies for doing things that he didn't think to do. Like, I don't know. Like, whatever, dude. Yeah,
it's weird that he, like, I guess that, like, at this point in time, Marvel movies means comic book movies to these guys.
Well, again, like, I do think that they tried to watch them. Because the comment that they both say is they feel like theme park rides, which I don't completely disagree with. But like, unless you're watching all of them, you don't understand what is special about them.
Or like if you're watching specific ones, I get that. Like again, I could get people of their generation, and if they're not into the genre, not liking Guardians, even though I love those movies. But if they watched Winter Soldier or Civil War, how the fuck are you saying that? Like, Winter Soldier is a spy flick.
No, and they're saying...
Here's the thing, if you just saw Iron Man 2, Thor 2, and Winter Soldier, I could understand the comment of they're all... because as much as we all know the different quality of those three films, plot-wise, they aren't that different. It's just that some of them are handling those plots way better because they're more competently done.
I have a quote right here from Coppola who says, I don't know that anyone gets anything out of seeing the same movie over and over again.
Right. Which is like, okay, how many of them have you actually seen? Because here's the thing, that's an old thing that people used to say about the MCU, that every movie was exactly the same. And there was a period of time there where you could make the argument that, they kind of end all in the same place.
If you talk about like Ant-Man and Iron Man.
Yeah. Well, Ant-Man and Iron Man, but like the real thing was there's a thing that they have to get, and then the third act, there's a battle in the sky. They're blowing up something in the sky, and that was a legitimate thing. But then they literally supplanted that in the next movie after that. Mm-hmm. So like, it was.
And again, whatever. this is a guy who, again, like we said, didn't like Star Wars, and they have a quote in the one article I'm looking at where it's like from 2015 where he says, I think Star Wars, it's a pity because George Lucas was a very experimental, crazy guy, and he got lost in this big production and never got out of it. So, that did happen to Lucas. Lucas has issues, but like to not get what Star Wars is,
right? Like, even if you're somebody who, like me, who doesn't give a shit about Star Wars anymore, hasn't really given a shit for a while, only watched The Last Jedi because of Rian Johnson. Even I can be like, I can acknowledge the things that are good about Star Wars and what everybody likes about it. I can see the value in it.
It's just like, it's that, I don't like, and I don't want to say it's the old man thing, but it's like anybody who's just like, oh, I don't like that genre. It's like, well, what do you like? I guess I can get it, but like, all right, well, I guess to me, it's like, I kind of get it more in music, not liking a genre, a certain sound. Steve was like, a good movie is a good movie is a good movie.
And he was saying, like, like, oh, they don't make you think. I'm like, I don't know. I came out or thinking pretty goddamn hard.
Right.
Oh, you tell me, like, Black Panther doesn't make you think when the goddamn villain of the movie makes, like, all the good points?
Yeah, exactly. Like, and here's the thing. Those movies they're not trying to teach you a lesson in every single moment. And I think that's what these guys are getting at. Like, these are not movies that are about a lesson or about a message for the most part. Some of them, I would say, are more heavily leaning that way. Some of them are very much about a very specific message.
I get it. It's just annoying in how he went about it.
And what was the message and lesson in Jack?
Well, he probably has a statement. But like, if you ask him about Apocalypse Now,
well, he made that in 1979. It's about Vietnam,
right?
Shit,
it's about Vietnam. It's about how people lose themselves in war.
Okay,
that's what it's about. Okay, fine. Guardians of the Galaxy is about people who are broken coming together to fix
and finding
themselves.
a family.
Yes, that's what
and Guardians. And Guardians 2 is about, you don't always get to choose your family, but like that doesn't mean you need to be biologically related to be like a family or to be a father.
And you can also be better than you are right now. You don't have to just settle. You can try to be a better person and grow along with the people that are around you. Like, some of these movies do have real themes of the kind they're talking about. Black Panther, there's so much in there. There's so much subtext.
Civil War.
Movie. Ryan Coogler really was making that kind of movie that he's talking about. And Civil War is the one where like it's kind of conflicting and it's not.
You don't know whose side you want to root for. It's like he's right.
Yeah,
he's right.
Yeah, for the first. The problem with that movie though is they lose that thread. They lose that thread around halfway through, and it sort of just it loses itself, and then they introduce another problem for them to fight about, and it's a problem that I enjoy immensely, and I find that fight between them.
But it undercuts the theme from that you started with.
Yes, it does. It does feel like a different movie, like another movie started.
But you could say the same thing, like to go to the first movie, Iron Man, is a lot to go to his war movies. Is talking about war profiteering and like the conscious of the guy who's like designing and creating the things that become weapons and how they are used.
Yeah,
so it's surrounded by by shininess and explosions, but that's the message there.
We just named 7 movies that like they definitely fit his definition. So has he not seen those 7 movies? And if it was an informed opinion, my desire to shit all over these guys would be far less, because I would know they were coming from an intelligent place and it was an educated place, but they're clearly not.
Yeah. And I think with what John kind of started with is like, I don't want to do this. I love the things that these guys have made. I don't want, I just like, don't, if that's your opinion based on nothing,
like
don't talk.
On Francis Ford Coppola. I love most of what Francis Ford Coppola has made, and don't you dare bring up Jack again. I swear to fucking God.
Well, here's
all right. Godfather 3.
I'm not actually angry at these guys. I'm not angry at them. They've done their thing. They don't owe us anything.
I did not realize he made one of the most random Nicolas Cage movies, which is Peggy Sue Got Married.
Yeah.
I did not know that was one of his movies.
He also made Captain EO with Michael Jackson.
Yeah, lots of bad choices there. But yeah, like they did their piece though. That's the thing. Like, I don't.
But it's like, but even like to go back, like another one of these guys, like Spielberg talks shit too, and then he was signed to do Black Hawks for a second, then he shut the fuck up. It's like, are you guys just bitching because no one's asked you to make one of these? Or like that no one's asking you to make your movies now because...
Oh, apparently, unrelated, but I guess Edward Norton's trying to start shit with Spielberg now.
Is it because he has the new movie coming out, which actually looks interesting?
No, it's just like... It's like, you know, Netflix is... It's the whole Netflix cinema thing. It's like, Netflix isn't a problem, cinemas are. But on an unrelated note, Edward Norton wants to go back to the MCU, but I'll get to that later.
Well... That's not going to
happen.
No, it's not.
He has less of a chance than Terrence Howard.
Yeah, he was a dick, and he's very well. Lou,
it's part of his writing. He needs like final cut or something.
Terrence has a lot of reasons why he's not coming back.
Yes,
many of which you know.
Yes,
and we've talked about extensively.
Number 1, he's a dick. Okay.
And then
he's retired 2, and he's investing his money in finding out where. I don't even remember which conspiracy is. It's not Hollow Earth, is it? It's like the moon isn't real.
Satellites to prove the Earth is flat.
Wait, Edward Norton?
No.
Terrence Howard.
Terrence
Howard believes in a lot of crazy shit. Okay. I think we're spinning way off the beaten path. So that's wrap, I guess. Unless anybody has like final thoughts on this, because No?
I would just say, why is anybody asking them questions about this when we know their answers?
Like, here's the thing. No, here's the thing. This is... have you seen the Marvel movies? If so, how many? And then they answer. And then you say, okay, that's enough. We don't need to talk anymore. Because I don't want to know unless they've seen... Let's say half of them. I'll give them that benefit of the doubt.
Well, I would say, like, have you seen the MCU movies? I'm like, if they're like, yeah, I saw Ghost Rider. Wait, no, that doesn't count.
I do mean the MCU when I say Marvel movies. How many of the MCU movies have you seen? If they say 10, fine. That's I'd say that's enough.
Yeah,
right?
That's about half.
Yeah, that's about half. And like, if you missed like half the good ones and you got half the bad ones in there as well, like, that's a fair... You have the right to fairly judge it. If you've seen Ultron and Iron Man 2 and Thor 2, sure, as long as you've seen a Black Panther and an Iron Man and a
Thor Ragnarok.
Avengers,
yeah, like a Spider-Man.
Yeah, like, and if then you say what these guys are saying, sure, whatever. you've seen enough of them for me to say you're not crazy in coming to that conclusion. You don't sound like a person who's disconnected from the world. But yeah. Anyways, what are we doing?
On that note,
out of here.
I think we've all kind of lost it.
Yeah.
Plugs.
Yeah, this is what happens when it just comes down to 3 people who don't have a lot of attention. Yeah. Okay. So I guess I will do plugs for Connor. Connor has a new episode of Movie Dumpster out. I believe it's Mr. Boogity. So go listen to that.
AKA the twin brother to Ivan Ooze.
Also, congratulations to Connor and Movie Dumpster for getting a quote in a trailer.
Yes, there's an updated trailer for what the
Black
fuck
Forest
is the movie called?
Or Dark
Black Forest. I wasn't sure if it's Black Forest or the other one, but I think it's
Black Forest is a type of ham.
Yes, it is.
Dark Forest.
I believe it's for Black Forest. Dark Forest. For Dark Forest, yeah, they did a updated thing with a quote from Movie Dumpster, and it's Connor's quote where well, they'll never listen to this, but they clearly did because it had to be in order to be put in.
The quote is literally, and I quote, "It's done by a moron."
Mm-hmm. It's pretty great. So go listen to that. All the other episodes, of course, you could also listen to the Green Lantern episode, which I am on. So you could do that.
I'm making my way to catch up with the rest of it. I want to get to it soon.
Yeah, I'm very behind on that show as well. So no stress. Listen to that. Listen to my other show, the Los Aro Podcast, with me and Erik Sayor, where we talk about movies. For Halloween, we're doing a lot of spooky stuff, and we did a George Romero episode, which is out now. You can go listen to it, where we talk about Dawn of the Dead and the Crazies and the movie Season of the Witch. So yeah, go check that out. And ask me to be a guest on the show if you want. People out there, I don't care. Just message me, I guess. I'll get a fucking insane person trying to come on.
Yeah, whatever you want to do, like 7 Steven Seagal movies, let me know.
Oh no, we're never doing that. Lou, we're never doing that. We'll do that one where Steven Seagal dies in the first 10 minutes or whatever.
Executive decision? Oh, that movie's great. So. That has Denzel Washington paraplegic for the entire film too. Great, I love it. It's not Denzel Washington. It's Joe Morton, who was in a show. If that a podcast I watch, he was in Smallville.
Oh no!
God damn it, Lou!
You bastard! And of course, listen to this show. Listen to the most recent 3 a.m. files. The first one, not the second one, really. So yeah, go listen to those spookiness and
find about my universal theory. Yeah, your ghosts and spookiness and all kinds of stuff for your Halloweeny ears. Halloweeny. So yeah, go give that a listen to. Lou, your plugs, I guess. So Smallville Chronicles every Tuesday. We just came back last week. We're charging our way through season 5. We're almost halfway through the series. And then Thursdays is And Now Comics. John's been on a bunch of times. We just finished up the Hoxpox, and we talked about issue 1 of X-Men and this kind of new canon of Marvel and the mutants, as well as all the comic book news goodness. So check that out if you want to catch up on anything. John?
I don't have any plugs. I'm just happy to be here.
All right.
Oh, John is in the Facebook group, which you should be in as well.
Really fun.
Yeah, Phantom Zone Facebook group. Go there. Tell us that you listen to the show, and you'll get in immediately. You don't have to wait in the waiting room forever, like people who just join and then don't answer the questions, because that's
the waiting room where we're just going to play bad superhero movies on loop. That's what you get for not answering questions.
Well, it's John, you know what movie it's going to be. You know what film it is.
It's a super cut of Supergirl, Jonah Hex, and Green Lantern.
Oh, God.
Okay, you know what?
Because if you can survive that, you can survive any crisis.
You found something worse than all three of those films individually. The supercut.
It's the Voltron of bad superhero movies.
Oh god, I have a story about Jonah Hex. I like my Toy Story was sold out. I had seen the A-Team already. I made my friends go see Jonah Hex. I thought it won't be that bad. Oh, they looked at me. They're like, "You're never picking the movie for the next 2 weeks."
Oh, if I had to put 2 more pieces to that Voltron, it would be Catwoman and the Spirit.
Oh God, the Spirit!
I wouldn't include the Spirit because it's not DC, but yeah,
it's Vertigo. No, it's not Vertigo. It's
older.
Who is it? Boom or Dynamite? Dynamite has it. It's a pulp comic.
The modern day version, but
it's Frank Miller going batshit insane. That's all you need to fucking know.
Yeah, Samuel Jackson wears Nazi regalia, and Scarlett Johansson is in it.
And Frank Miller wants to fuck a city, a literal city.
Okay, this is where we say bye, everybody.
Adios.
Bye.